Okay, so you're looking to really make an impact with your future endeavors.
Yeah,
And you're curious about how psychedelics could maybe play a role in unlocking that potential.
definitely.
Well, you've sent over some interesting stuff,
Uh-huh.
including this podcast episode with Dr. Bruce Dahmer.
Okay.
He's an astrobiologist who has been exploring the intersection of psychedelics and innovation.
What's fascinating here
Yeah.
is that Dr. Dahmer isn't just talking about like the therapeutic applications of psychedelics,
Right.
which is what we usually hear about.
Right.
He's talking about a fourth wave,
Oh, wow.
using these substances to enhance creativity and problem solving for some of humanity's biggest challenges, like climate change.
So it's not about just feeling better.
No.
It's about thinking differently, maybe even finding solutions we haven't been able to access before.
Exactly.
Wow.
But Dr. Dahmer's very clear that it's not as simple as just taking a psychedelic and suddenly becoming a genius.
Right.
He stresses the importance of what he calls a prepared mind.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
What does he mean by a prepared mind?
So he means you need a solid foundation of knowledge and experience in your field before you can truly benefit from these types of experiences.
Okay.
Think of it like this. You wouldn't expect to like plant a seed in concrete and have it flourish.
Right.
You need fertile soil.
Yeah.
That's what the prepared mind is.
Okay.
It's that rich ground that allows those creative insights to take root and grow.
So it's more about amplifying your existing skills and knowledge rather than just gaining new information out of thin air.
Precisely.
Okay.
And Dr. Dahmer's own journey is a really powerful illustration of this.
Okay.
He talks about being adopted as a child and carrying this sense of dissociation, a pain in his gut, as he describes it.
It sounds like he was carrying around some unresolved trauma that may have been blocking him creatively.
Yes. And he believes it wasn't until he had an ayahuasca experience at age 46 that he was able to re-experience his birth and heal that early trauma. And he attributes that personal healing to unlocking a flow state that led to significant breakthroughs in his scientific research, specifically his work on the origin of life.
That's a powerful connection.
Yeah.
Personal healing leading to scientific breakthroughs.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how much our own unresolved issues might be holding us back, not just creatively,
Yeah.
but in all areas of life.
It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of addressing those deeper emotional layers as you prepare for your future endeavors.
For sure.
Dr. Dahmer also talks about the importance of cultivating an observer mind during these intense psychedelic experiences. This is another key concept.
So what does he mean by observer mind?
Yeah.
Is it about being able to detach from the emotions or the visuals that often come with these experiences?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
He uses the analogy of running a high-speed movie in your mind while having a dedicated note-taker diligently recording everything.
Interesting.
This allows for better integration and analysis later on. If you're too caught up in the experience itself,
Right.
it becomes harder to distill the valuable takeaways and apply them to real-world problems.
So you're saying that having that observer mind is essential for actually applying those insights gained during a psychedelic experience to something like, say, developing a new business idea or tackling a social issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about being able to step back,
Uh-huh.
reflect,
Yeah.
and then integrate those insights into your actions.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, besides the prepared mind and the observer mind, are there any other key principles that Dr. Dahmer emphasizes for those who are looking to use psychedelics for innovation?
Yes.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about the importance of setting intentions before embarking on these journeys.
Uh-huh.
It's not just about taking a psychedelic and seeing what happens.
Right.
You need to have a clear goal or question in mind,
Yeah.
something you're hoping to explore or understand better.
Okay.
And this is a crucial point, he also stresses the importance of remaining open to unexpected insights.
So it's about balancing a focused intention with the flexibility to adapt to what emerges.
Exactly.
Okay.
You might go in with one question,
Right.
but discover something even more valuable along the way.
Got it.
He gives the example of an entrepreneur who used psychedelics to find a solution to deforestation.
Wow.
He went in with a problem
Uh-huh.
and came out with a revolutionary business idea.
That's fascinating.
So it's not just about having a plan.
Right.
It's about being receptive to those unexpected turns.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to let go of your preconceived notions and see where the experience takes you.
That makes a lot of sense, and I think that's a valuable lesson, not just for psychedelic exploration, but
Yeah.
for approaching any kind of challenge or creative endeavor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the prepared mind, the observer mind, and the importance of intention setting. What else is Dr. Dahmer highlighting?
Well, he dives into this concept of the fourth wave of psychedelic research, which is really exciting and particularly relevant to your interest in impactful endeavors.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Sure.
What is the fourth wave all about?
So it's about moving beyond the therapeutic applications of psychedelics
Okay.
and exploring their potential for intellectual and creative breakthroughs.
So instead of just focusing on how these substances can help people heal from trauma or addiction,
All right.
this wave of research is looking at how they can enhance problem-solving, innovation, and even scientific discovery.
Exactly.
It sounds like this research is still in its early stages.
It is, but there are already some promising findings.
Oh, wow.
For instance, there are extended DMT studies happening at Imperial College London and psilocybin memory studies at UT Austin.
Wow, so they're really starting to investigate the potential of these substances in very specific ways.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And what's really exciting is that this research could have implications for fields way beyond just therapy.
I can imagine.
Imagine the possibilities if we could harness these substances to enhance innovation in areas like technology, sustainability, or even the arts.
It's a whole new frontier, and it sounds like Dr. Dahmer is really at the forefront of this exploration.
He is, and he's very passionate about the potential of psychedelics to help us solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
Yeah.
But he also emphasizes the importance of proceeding with caution and respect.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
These are powerful substances, and they need to be treated with care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he advocates for a low-dose approach, emphasizing clarity and the ability to integrate insights, rather than being overwhelmed by the psychedelic effects.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where you can access the enhanced creativity without losing your ability to function and process information.
That's a key point. It's not about chasing the most intense experience,
Right.
but rather finding the level that best supports your creative goals. He even experimented with microdosing ayahuasca during ceremonies, carefully adjusting the dosage for optimal effect.
So it's really about finding what works best for you, your sensitivity, and your goals.
Exactly.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach here.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
And remember, Dr. Dahmer's insights are just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
It's a starting point for your own exploration and discovery, always keeping safety and well-being as top priorities.
Great advice.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've covered Dr. Dahmer's emphasis on the prepared mind, the observer mind, the importance of intention setting, and this fascinating fourth wave of research that's exploring the potential of psychedelics for innovation.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. Where do we go from here? What else is there to explore?
Yeah. Well, Dr. Dahmer also talks about the importance of integrating mindful practices into your daily life to enhance flow states, even beyond psychedelic experiences. This is something anyone can benefit from,
Okay.
regardless of whether they're interested in exploring psychedelics or not.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Tell me more about these mindful practices. What kind of things is he talking about?
He's a big advocate for breath work,
Yeah.
specifically pranayama.
Yeah.
He uses it to quiet his mind and enhance his creativity.
Uh-huh.
He even tailors his breathwork practices based on his needs for the day.
So being adaptable and listening to your body's cues is key.
Exactly.
I like that.
He might use a more energizing breathwork practice if he needs a boost or a calming one if he's feeling overwhelmed.
Oh,
It's all about finding what works best for you in the moment.
it's like having a personalized toolkit for managing your energy and mental state.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And he combines breathwork with mantra, which he believes helps to further quiet the mind and induce a state of relaxation.
Mantra can definitely be a powerful tool for focus and intention.
Yeah.
It's like anchoring your mind to a specific thought or vibration.
And that anchoring can be incredibly helpful when you're navigating the sometimes chaotic waters of creative exploration. It provides a sense of stability and direction.
So, to recap, Dr. Dahmer's key recommendations include strategic use of low-dose nicotine, personalized breathwork practices,
Yes.
and incorporating mantra for focus and intention.
He emphasizes that these techniques are not meant to be rigid rules, but rather adaptable tools to be used intuitively.
Got it.
It's about finding what works best for you and your unique needs.
It's about tuning into your own inner wisdom and experimenting to find what resonates.
Precisely. And while Dr. Dahmer's research focuses on psychedelics,
Yeah.
these mindful practices can be incredibly valuable even if you're not interested in exploring those substances.
So these are tools anyone can use to enhance their creativity and access those flow states that can lead to those breakthroughs you were talking about.
Absolutely. Breath work, mantra,
Yeah.
and even simple mindfulness techniques can make a significant difference in your ability to focus, tap into your intuition, and generate new ideas.
It's like cultivating a more mindful approach to creativity, regardless of the specific tools you choose to use.
That's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
It's about finding what resonates with you and incorporating it into your creative process.
Now, I'm curious about something Dr. Dahmer mentioned earlier, this idea of a prepared mind. We touched on it briefly, but I'd love to dive a little deeper.
Sure.
What exactly does he mean by that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's a crucial aspect of his approach.
Okay.
He believes that psychedelics can amplify your existing skills and knowledge,
Right.
but they won't magically make you a genius.
Yeah.
It's not a shortcut to mastery,
Right.
but rather a way to enhance the skills you've already developed.
So it's like having a fertile ground for those creative seeds to land on.
Yeah.
If you don't have the groundwork, those insights might not take root.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of continuous learning and skill development.
Uh-huh.
The more you invest in your craft,
Right.
the more you'll be able to leverage the power of these tools.
So it's not about replacing hard work and dedication, but rather augmenting them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dahmer's own journey is a testament to that.
Yeah.
He spent years studying astrobiology before he started exploring psychedelics.
Uh-huh.
He had that solid foundation to build upon.
And that foundation allowed him to make those connections between his personal healing and his scientific insights.
Exactly.
Oh.
And as you think about your own future endeavors,
Yeah.
it's worth considering how you can cultivate a prepared mind in your chosen field.
So seeking out mentors,
Yeah.
continuing to learn, and building a strong foundation of knowledge and experience.
Absolutely.
Got it.
The more you invest in yourself and your craft, the more you'll be able to leverage the power of these tools, whether it's psychedelics or other mindful practices, to unlock your full creative potential and make a real impact.
That's inspiring.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, practical techniques, the importance of a prepared mind, the power of mindfulness. And we've also touched on the exciting possibilities of the fourth wave of psychedelic research and how it might transform innovation in various fields.
Definitely.
It's a lot to process. Is there anything else you think we should highlight before we move on?
I think it's worth emphasizing that Dr. Dahmer's insights are just one perspective.
Right.
There's a lot of ongoing research and exploration in this field,
Yep.
and it's constantly evolving.
So it's important to stay curious, keep learning, and be open to new discoveries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as with any powerful tool,
Yeah.
it's crucial to approach psychedelics with respect, responsibility, and a focus on safety and well-being.
Right.
They're not for everyone,
Of course.
and it's important to make informed decisions.
Great advice.
Thank you.
Now, before we jump into the next part of our deep dive, I'm wondering if there's anything from this conversation that particularly resonates with you.
What struck me most was Dr. Dahmer's emphasis on the interconnectedness of personal healing, creativity, and innovation. It's not just about finding solutions to external problems,
Right.
but also about addressing our own inner barriers to unlock our full potential.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that our inner world and outer world are deeply intertwined.
Yeah.
And when we invest in our own well-being and growth, it ripples out into everything we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes me optimistic about the possibilities that emerge when we approach innovation with a holistic and mindful perspective.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding the next big technological breakthrough, but
Right.
also about creating a more compassionate and sustainable future for all of us.
Well said.
Thank you.
And as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
listener, I'm curious about what stands out to you,
Yeah.
what resonated most.
Perhaps Dr. Dahmer's journey has inspired you to explore your own creative potential or reconsider your relationship with flow states.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're intrigued by the possibilities of the fourth wave of psychedelic research.
Absolutely.
Whatever it may be. We encourage you to continue exploring these ideas and see how they might inform your own path,
Yeah.
especially as you think about those future endeavors you're passionate about.
Absolutely.
Remember, the journey of innovation is not just about finding solutions, but also about expanding our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
I love that.
Now,
Yeah.
before we move on to the next part of our deep dive,
Oh, yeah.
let's take a closer look at some of the specific practices Dr. Dahmer recommends for cultivating that all-important prepared mind and accessing those flow states.
I'm all ears.
He's got some interesting techniques up his sleeve that might surprise you.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned. So we've been talking about the importance of a prepared mind for unlocking innovation and achieving those impactful endeavors you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Now let's get into some specific practices that can help you cultivate that fertile ground.
Yes, let's get practical.
Okay.
I'm ready to hear about Dr. Dahmer's toolkit.
Well, one thing he mentioned that might surprise you is his use of coffee paired with a low-dose nicotine supplement. Nicotine. Really?
Yeah.
That's not what I was expecting.
I know.
Yeah.
It seems a bit counterintuitive,
Yeah.
especially in the context of wellness and creativity.
Right.
But he explains that nicotine in very small doses
Okay.
can act as a mild cognitive enhancer.
Interesting. So it's not about smoking cigarettes.
Right.
It's about using nicotine strategically to subtly shift your mental state.
Exactly. He compares it to how some artists and writers historically used nicotine to enhance their focus and creative output.
Wow.
But it's important to note that he also strongly cautions against overuse and the potential for addiction.
Of course that makes sense.
Mhm.
It's about finding that balance and using these tools responsibly, not becoming dependent on them.
Right.
I appreciate him emphasizing that. What other tools does he recommend?
He's a huge advocate for breathwork,
Okay.
specifically pranayama.
Yeah.
He uses it to quiet his mind and boost creativity. In fact, he even tailors his breathwork practices depending on what he needs that day. You know, breathwork is something I've been hearing more and more about lately.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how something as simple as changing your breathing pattern can have such a profound effect on your mental and physical state.
It really can.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dahmer's approach highlights the importance of adaptability and really tuning into your body's cues.
So instead of following a rigid routine,
Right.
it's about paying attention to what your body and mind need in that particular moment.
Yeah.
And choosing a breathwork practice accordingly.
Exactly. If he needs an energy boost, he might use a more invigorating breathwork technique.
Okay.
If he's feeling overwhelmed or anxious, he'll choose a calming practice.
Got it.
It's about having that flexibility.
It's like having a personalized toolkit for managing your energy and mental state. I love that.
And to further enhance the effects of breathwork,
Yeah.
he incorporates mantra.
Okay.
He believes that repeating a specific sound or phrase helps to quiet the mind and induce a deeper state of relaxation.
I can see how mantra would be a powerful tool for focus and intention. It's like anchoring your mind to a specific thought or vibration, which could be really helpful when you're exploring new ideas or trying to solve a problem.
Yes, and that anchoring can be especially valuable when you're engaged in those impactful endeavors you're passionate about.
Right.
It provides that grounding force amidst the challenges and complexities that inevitably arise.
So we've got strategic use of low-dose nicotine, personalized breathwork practices,
Yes.
and mantra for focus and intention. These are all really intriguing techniques. And you mentioned earlier that these tools can be valuable even for people who aren't interested in exploring psychedelics.
Absolutely. Breathwork, mantra, and mindfulness practices are accessible to everyone.
Right.
They can make a significant difference in your ability to focus, tap into your intuition, and approach challenges with a fresh perspective.
I'm starting to see how these practices can be incredibly helpful in cultivating that prepared mind we were talking about earlier. It's like laying the groundwork for those aha moments, whether they come through psychedelic exploration or simply through dedicated effort and focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to another key point that Dr. Dahmer emphasizes,
Okay.
the importance of continuous learning and skill development.
Right. He's very clear that psychedelics aren't a magic bullet.
Yeah.
They can amplify your existing skills and knowledge,
Right.
but they won't magically make you a genius.
And this is where that idea of the prepared mind really comes into play.
Okay.
If you don't have that foundation of knowledge and experience, those insights you might gain from a psychedelic experience might not have anywhere to land.
They might just float away, so to speak.
Exactly. It's like trying to build a house on sand.
Right.
You need a strong foundation to support the structure.
Yeah.
The more you invest in your craft, the
Right.
more you'll be able to leverage the power of these tools,
Okay.
whether it's psychedelics or other mindful practices.
So for those listeners who are looking to make a real difference in the world, who are passionate about tackling big challenges,
Yeah.
this message is really crucial, right?
It is.
It's about recognizing that there's no substitute for hard work, dedication, and a commitment to continuous learning.
Absolutely. It's about showing up, doing the work, and honing your skills.
Yeah.
And then these tools and techniques can act as powerful catalysts,
Right.
helping you break through those mental barriers and access new levels of creativity and innovation.
And what I find so encouraging about Dr. Dahmer's approach is that he's not just talking about these things in theory.
Right.
He's living it.
Yeah.
He spent years studying astrobiology before he started exploring psychedelics. He had that solid foundation to build upon.
Exactly. His own journey is a testament to the power of combining a deep understanding of your field with these tools for enhancing creativity and insight.
It's inspiring to see someone walking the walk, so to speak.
And I think it's an important message for anyone who's feeling called to make a difference. It's not about waiting for some magical moment of inspiration.
Right.
It's about showing up,
Yeah.
putting in the effort,
Mm-hmm.
and then utilizing these tools to amplify your potential.
I love that. It's about taking ownership of your growth and being proactive in seeking out those resources and practices that can help you achieve your goals.
Exactly. And as you continue to explore these ideas and experiment with different techniques,
Yeah.
remember that it's a journey, not a destination.
It's about being open to learning, adapting, and finding what works best for you.
Precisely. And it's also about remembering that there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
So it's about listening to your own intuition, experimenting, and trusting the process.
Exactly. And as you embark on this journey of exploration,
Yeah.
keep in mind that Dr. Dahmer's insights are just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
There's a vast and growing body of research and knowledge out there,
Yeah.
and it's constantly evolving.
So stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to challenge conventional thinking.
Absolutely. And as with any powerful tool,
Mhm.
approach these practices with respect, responsibility, and a focus on safety and well-being.
Of course.
Remember, they're not for everyone, and it's crucial to make informed decisions based on your own individual needs and circumstances.
That's a great reminder.
Mm.
Okay, so we've talked about the prepared mind.
Uh-huh.
We've explored some practical techniques,
Yeah.
and we've touched on the importance of ongoing learning and self-discovery.
Yes.
What else is there to consider as we move towards this idea of unlocking our potential for purposeful impact?
Well, I think it's worth circling back to something we mentioned earlier, the
Okay.
fourth wave of psychedelic research and its potential for driving innovation in various fields.
Yeah.
This is where things get really exciting,
Yeah.
especially for those who are passionate about making a difference in the world.
Yes, let's dive back into that. What are some specific examples of how this research is being applied to real-world problems?
Yeah.
How is it actually leading to innovation and positive change?
That's a great question, and I think it's the perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore some fascinating case studies and cutting-edge research that highlight the transformative power of psychedelics in areas like technology, sustainability, and even social justice.
Okay, listener, you won't want to miss this. We're about to uncover some truly mind-blowing examples of how these substances are being used to create a better future. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've been exploring Dr. Dahmer's insights on psychedelics, innovation, and the importance of a prepared mind. Now, you mentioned some real-world examples of how this fourth wave of research is actually being applied.
Yeah.
I'm really eager to hear more about that.
You know, as we've been discussing Dr. Dahmer's work, one thing that keeps coming back to me
Yeah.
is this idea of intentionality. He's very clear that psychedelics are tools,
Right,
not magic bullets.
right. And he talked about how crucial it is to approach these experiences with a prepared mind. That clear sense of what you're hoping to explore or achieve.
Exactly. And that resonates with me because it speaks to a broader principle that applies to anything you're trying to achieve in life,
Right.
especially when it comes to making a real impact.
It's like setting your internal compass.
Yeah.
Without that clear direction, it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day or get overwhelmed by the intensity of an experience.
Precisely. And it's not just about setting those big, overarching life goals.
Right.
It's about bringing that intentionality to every moment,
Yeah.
every choice.
But being mindful about how you're showing up, what you're focusing on, and where you're directing your energy.
Exactly. And I think that's particularly relevant for those who are feeling called to contribute to something bigger than themselves,
Yeah.
to make a positive impact on the world.
Right, because these are complex, multifaceted problems that require sustained effort and focus.
Exactly. And I think Dr. Dahmer's work offers a really interesting perspective on how we can tap into new sources of creativity and insight to address these challenges.
Yeah.
He's not saying that psychedelics are the only answer,
Right.
but they can be a valuable tool in the right context.
And he also emphasized the importance of integrating those insights back into everyday life.
Yeah.
It's not just about having these profound experiences in isolation. It's about bringing that wisdom back
Yeah.
to inform your actions and decisions.
And I think that's where that idea of the prepared mind comes full circle.
Right.
If you have that solid foundation of knowledge and experience, you're better equipped to translate those insights into tangible action.
It's a cyclical process.
Yeah.
Preparation, exploration, integration, and then applying those learnings to create positive change.
Exactly. And it's a journey that requires both courage and commitment.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to confront our inner shadows or challenge conventional ways of thinking.
But the potential rewards are immense.
Yeah.
If we can tap into that deeper well of creativity and wisdom, we might just discover solutions we never thought possible.
And who knows, maybe those solutions will come from unexpected places, just like that entrepreneur who found a way to combat deforestation through his psychedelic experience.
Right. It's a reminder to stay open to the unexpected, to trust the process, and to believe in our own capacity to make a difference.
Well said. And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a final thought.
I'm all ears.
Think about the areas of your life where you feel most called to make a contribution.
Okay.
What challenges ignite your passion?
Yeah.
What problems keep you up at night?
It's about identifying that purpose that drives you.
Yeah.
That thing that makes you want to get out of bed each morning and make a difference.
Exactly. And then consider how you might approach those challenges with a renewed sense of intentionality, mindfulness, and maybe even a touch of creative daring.
It's about embracing the unknown, trusting our intuition, and believing in our capacity to create a better future.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
So listeners, we encourage you to take these insights and weave them into your own unique journeys. Explore, experiment, and discover what works best for you. And never underestimate the power of a prepared mind, a focused intention, and a heart filled with purpose.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive exploring new ideas and inspiring perspectives. Until then, keep diving deep and keep those minds open.